Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, this is a beautiful piece of British Columbia kyanite. This is an energy of bridging dimensions, bridging worlds. So we're gonna dive into a divine feminine check-in and see specifically what are the divine feminines progressing with, grounding, navigating in specifically this period of preparation for union. So what can we see? Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through for the collective that joins me here. How are the divine feminines preparing for union at this time? I'm going to get some cards, usual divine counterpart check-in. So DMs, you can take a peek and see where your DF might be at, what might transpire, how this is affecting preparation for union. And then I'm also going to get some advice for my DFs watching, because I know most of you are DFs out there, 83% or so of my channel. So here we go. Also, I have a little bit of a funny request. I am wondering if there's anybody out there that plays Magic the Gathering. I kind of want to learn, and I'm wondering if I can trade tarot readings and do a Zoom Magic the Gathering with anybody out there who wants to join me. Please put your hand up in the comments if that be you. Okay, many blessings. Let's get into it. Divine feminines. What can we see for how the feminines are thinking about the connection and what they are consciously doing towards preparing for union? Okay, opening the heart space. This is a card of hanging on too tightly, being in scarcity. In the inverse like this, it's a heart opening. So feminines are stepping out of victim, stepping out of blame, stepping out of feeling at odds, and really letting this journey have its way with them, opening their heart beyond their previous capacity. They are healing from third-party situations. The Four of Swords comes after the heartache, after the conflict, and so there's something the feminines are integrating right now that's allowing them to open their heart space. So that can be the release of third-party situations on their side. It can be the aftermath of divine masculine letting go of their third-party situation. There's something that's a spaciousness here where divine feminines are blossoming. How does this affect the connection? Only time will tell. The moon. There is a shroud of secrecy around this chrysalis phase for the feminines. So right now the feminines are undergoing a deep internal healing. That is mirrored likely with you, divine masculines, but it is a very intimate, almost beyond the world of form and speech. It's a primordial recalibration, cosmic recalibration. Advice for the feminines in this Wheel of Fortune in the inverse. So this is what turns the Wheel of Fortune, this level of progress, healing, rite of passage. It's one thing to have these awarenesses in the energetic realms, emotionally desire something, intellectually understand it, and another thing entirely for these changes to actually roll out in the physical. So I'm getting here that everything that the feminines are transmuting and going through, and all of the physical changes that these divine feminines have been guided to make, emotional, mental, physical changes, energetic, spiritual, boundaries, all of it. It's playing out on some mysterious levels right now that even the individual divine feminines are not consciously like in full awareness of at this time. I heard the heart wants what the heart wants, but we don't know what we don't know. So there is this mystery playing out right now. Feminines, just sink into this healing, sink into this safe space that you've got in your reality. really fall in love with self, be gentle. You're not going to run out of time on your journey for union. Just allow it to play out the way it needs to. What are these divine feminines thinking consciously about their counterpart? Ooh, unconditional friendship. Many of the feminines have, I just heard, resigned to believing that this is only going to culminate in a friendship. Then we have Knight of Swords. Because there isn't a lot of communication, they are giving the benefit of the doubt. These feminines are good on their own. They do prefer you, masculines. Don't get it twisted. They do prefer you, but they are also seeing the kindness in what's happening right now. They are trusting the connection, even if it's only ever going to be friends. They do see a grand potential here. They're not communicating this. They are trusting that one way or another, you are going to be in their life ongoing. But as feminines go through these rites of passage where things transpire in the physical and on all these dimensions, they do value your friendship immensely. I keep hearing, or seeing those movie scenes where they're saying marriage vows and this whole thing about marrying our best friend comes up. There's something like that. What can we see for the direction this is going? This is going to reciprocity. So the feminines might have prematurely desired full-blown commitment. They are now valuing friendship. See, typically when a feminine friend zones a masculine or is in that friend zone, it's because they are rejecting a potential suitor and it's not their idea of fun to be connected with that person. This is a whole different frequency for a feminine to be in, where all of the impulsivity is calmed and trust is built. Friendship and trust go hand in hand, but for the feminines, typically friend zone isn't going to be a viable love connection. So this is a game changer for the feminines. That needed to be said out loud. This is really where there can be reciprocity and where the feminines can be receptive to your love, masculines, because unless the feminine is willing to embrace you as a friend also, they can't actually trust that you have their best interest. So you have elicited their friendship DMs. The divine has shown these feminines how to view you as a friend and that not be a rejection of you as a potential. So this is a new experience for these divine feminines. It's usually one or the other for feminines. It's either immediately friend zone or it's a intimate door open. But these feminines are really harmonizing both, the best of both worlds with you. What is the advice here for the feminines? Immediately right now, be grateful. You have your wish fulfillment. It's interesting because this message is coming through for those feminines who have not been conscious of this friend zone or friend energy, friend situationship, the platonic aspects that need to also be included. It cannot just be one way or the other, because then that becomes lover or foe. The friendship has to be included there so that it doesn't go to foe when we're in these dynamics. So the advice here, DFs, is to really understand that you've got someone here that you can be a true friend with, that it's not about friendship being used, weaponized. Yeah, we shouldn't be going into our lover, our life mate, being a foe. That's very karmic. So it's not this fickle, I like you when you do what I want and I hate you when you don't. That's karmic. So catch yourself, feminines, if that's you. This is about really valuing the friendship, even elevating it above that passionate roller coaster that can happen. So really doing a meditation. Can you see this person as your best friend, feminines? Does this person warrant that? Is it that? Or is it lust? Is it power tripping on one side or the other? So this is a kind of a reality check here, feminines. You must embrace this person on a friendship level. Now that message will seem too strong for many out there. So don't take that if it doesn't resonate. What can we see for these feminines with regard to the heart space? How are they preparing for union? Oh, it's really sinking in that they could be your choice, masculines. Deeply, deeply sinking in that this feminine can see themselves being chosen. This is wifey energy, life partner, living together. These feminines may actually be having visions or feelings on the heart space of living together. I'm hearing moving to where you live, masculines, moving in with you. Take that only if it resonates. There's a reality coming in here where these feminines are beginning to realize that you could want them and only them, that this has stood the test of time, that it's sinking in, that you're not going anywhere. Something in the heart space is impressing upon these feminines that as they love themselves more, they realize that some of the awkwardness between you has been because you've had them on a pedestal, or you've really seen how magnificent they were. They're just starting to very much see that you could think of them that way. Because of their own self-love. What is this doing for the connections? Oh, energetic. So your love is getting through to these feminines, masculines. They are seeing you as not being swayed, and this is action. This is in the energetic realms. It's not so much what you're saying to them. This is you showing them through just being true to your knowing and to yourself and to divine guidance in every moment. This is helping bring in a safe container for these feminines to understand more and more their value on the deeper levels and not just objectification or the physical. This is a soul level, heart and soul level awareness that these feminines could be chosen for who they really are and not necessarily just the surface, the physical. What can we see for advice for the feminines? Yeah, there is a little bit more of an urge to go into hermit mode here, to really spin this wheel and see that your destined path is not out there. It's not far in the future. It's now. It's this recognition of the alignment, of the presence, of the acknowledgement of what this connection really is right now, that this is a period of preparation for union by adjusting the right attitudes and perceptions within. To the knowing. Oh wow, I'm hearing if your masculine proposed to you and you didn't know this inside of you, it would leave a speed wobble in the energy. So any places, the recesses of your heart that wouldn't believe it, your worthiness or your masculine's intentions, if they were to say, I want to be with you for the rest of our lives in a romantic scenario, that anywhere in there that you would still wonder if that were to be true, go into hermit mode and really look at each one of those elements, if there's one or more, and sit in meditation with the divine and ask to be shown how those things can be healed, transmuted, seen differently. This is a beautiful heart space. This is part of that heart opening that I saw in the first set of cards. What can we see for the feminine, for you DMs on the heart space from the feminines? Transformation and the Emperor. So they are beginning to see you dropping your control freaky energies. Emperor in the inverse, like they really are seeing you become more humbled. This may have been that you've offered apologies, or this energetic support is softened. When they tune into you, there's a softening. There's more of a reciprocity between the two of you. They're seeing things transforming in your lives. The divine feminines are clearly letting go of things, the aftermath that we talked about in the first few cards there. The dust is settling, and there's not so much rigidity in the energy. There's more familiarity with each other in the physical, in the material realm, not so much just that immediate soul recognition. There's something grounding here where the feminines on the heart space are feeling you in their core in a more substantial way, a more grounded way. There's something of this energy where you got in there very, very deeply without even trying, and it's comforting to them. There's a comfort here. So it's not about you masculines falling from grace as though you haven't been in good leadership here. There's something about the way the feminines are understanding your leadership, the protection and safety you offer. I'm hearing it's in your passivity. Instead of where you take action, it's also where you do not take action. No action is a choice. That's why, they say that stonewalling or something is one of the most aggressive things you can do. Even though it's an absolute nothing, it's an absolute. And I'm not saying that's what's happening in these scenarios, but there is something to be said with laying down the definite line, or, absolutely not going there with something. And so the feminines are beginning to look at the wisdom in your choices as such and taking it to heart. They're really starting to understand that when you don't do something, not just when you do, but when you don't do something, there is a real trustworthy reason. I mean, everybody maybe would like to have a little bit more communication about these things, but communication can be convoluted if the trust hasn't been built yet. So communication can get messy and go in circles. It is a really interesting thing going on in these connections where things don't come in as we both want, and then we have this show them, not tell them, deep experience over time, that it takes a little bit of time for the two to actually understand that it's nothing to take personal, that it's actually a gift. Now, don't make that fit with abusive situations. Don't make that fit with control. This is literally the opposite of control. This is love. This is compassion. It resonates completely different. If you don't get that, learn to read the room and get a different reader. This is not karmic stuff. It's hard to describe the difference to those who haven't experienced it firsthand, but if you know, you know. What is the direction in the near future about this? 7 of Cups, this love, and this is in the inverse. So all the confusion and many options, many different interpretations falling by the wayside, and this laser focus on unconditional love. So there's a deepening. This again is like clearing through all of the surface level assessments that it could be and honing in on this, like, could it be love? Yes, it's love. This is love. It might be counterintuitive in control paradigms and, fabricated things or relationships for show. But at the end of the day, these connections are so divinely guided. Each person is so intuitively guided that it's magical, that it plays out in miraculous ways without even knowing. It's like trusting the intuition before it makes sense. Both are doing that. And so it hits the nail on the head every single time. And we're beginning to see how aligned that actually is. And the only reasonable definition or reason that this is happening is because both are divinely guided. It's not something that human intellect is equipped to discover. It's a heart-based awareness, and therefore taking heart-based action. When people are sincere and they live by that, when they care and they decide by that measure, This is how connection unfolds. It's not something you can easily articulate with the mind. It is a grander tapestry. What is the advice for the feminines in this? King of Wands, that your masculine is learning how to lead you. Just as you're, pardon me with my throat chakra clearing. So, communication will be coming in. I think I've had this throat thing mildly, like I don't feel badly, but for about a week and a half now. And I do feel like the throat chakras in the collective are clearing right now. But feminines, remember, this is your divine masculine, King of Wands here. And they are not in the full upright, just as they are learning to follow their knowing on the level that I'm speaking and channeling on here. You are learning to see that modeled through them, channeled through them. Again, for the last number of months, I've been getting the prophetic understanding to channel that these masculines are learning to channel as a way of life, to be an instrument of divine will, to align their will with divine will and make all of their decisions and speak from that place that is connected to source energy as a consistent, masterful way of life. So this hasn't quite resulted yet. We have 2 more eclipses, October 2nd and the 17th. We're still going through a rite of passage here where the masculines are coming into it fully. So on the heart space, this preparation for union is to become more receptive to the changes happening in you, in your masculine, in the connection, but it's a heart-based opening and blossoming. It's not necessarily things that you can put into words while it's happening or ahead of time. This is something that has to be lived, to be experienced, to be appreciated. It's that appreciation for this alchemical process that will bring you into the resounding 100% yes. The confirmation that union is 1000% mutually desired and available, embodied by both. Some good stuff, people. What can we see for how the feminines are preparing for union with their manifestation? Divine guidance and the universe. This is the world card in this deck. In the inverse, it's closing out old cycles. So the feminines know that the key is to stay the course with closing out the old cycles and continuing to discern this higher guidance every step of the way. It's more of a focus on source right now than directly on the masculine. In marriage ceremonies where the bride is not permitted to, or the groom is not permitted to see the bride before the wedding. There's a period of shrouded energy. This is what happens in that preparation behind the scenes while that preparation is occurring. That is what the archetype is there to represent, is this period of the feminine going towards, oh wow, what a beautiful thing. I'll write a book on these archetypes as I've been shown, but the feminine purifying and connecting to source energy. And then what I heard was the custom of the father giving the bride away is the divine saying that this bride is ready to be equipped now to not lose themselves into the marriage, that it's like ordained by the divine. So there's this holy of holies meditation, balancing out wholeness, this alignment, this mastery coming in, and then the father archetype, the divine, gives the bride this, not permission, but access to holy matrimony because of the preparation that's been done. What a beautiful message to come through. So there are weddings and proposals and marriages on the horizon for these connections in 2024, people. I've been getting that since 2018, that this year is a year where these connections are going towards marriage, going towards whatever the two of you are going to decide together. What can we see for near future? Strength, humility. So this preparation, this is where all the devil energies and all of the second guessing and monkey mind, all the crazy making chatter in our brains, the fear is calmed. That kind of looked like a key here as well. So yeah, this is the Strength card comes in when the devil has been quieted. I'm seeing the devil fire and then a bucket of water, holy water, being splashed on the devil and the all of that illusion being snuffed. So yeah, stay close to your connection to source. The veil is thin right now through this eclipse. Wow. So it is a solar eclipse, the one on the 2nd. And that really is the moon coming to the forefront, feminine. That's you coming into your awareness. The masculine, the sun is blocked out during this kind of eclipse. And so your masculine might be shrouded from you at this time. And it's all about you coming to the forefront and going to source, going internal to source, whereas the sun is being blocked out. The masculine is being removed from the feminine right now, so this can happen. So don't go into those devil energies. Really go higher to source right now, feminines. That is why the veil is thin, because everything is removed except your connection with source. What can we see for advice for the feminines? Queen of Pentacles. So this was the same wifey card that we got a few cards back here, that you're learning through self-love to see yourself as worthy of the love of a lifetime, of truly being chosen. All of the things you used to tell yourself about why you were not good enough, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of it, one way or the other. You know, ego can go the other way, where you might have felt like you were too elevated or too good or too special. Everything is neutralizing, but right now, this is what you're meant to be petitioning the divine, is to balance out those last remaining misconceptions that would cause you to feel like you were not a match for somebody, especially your masculine here, in those intimate, particular ways that you might be curious. This is a reality here, that this is meant to be balanced out. You are made for your masculine. Your masculine was made for you. You are a perfect match on every single level. And it's time to really ask the divine to highlight all of that, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. If this is your aligned one, you check off every single box together and you are the perfect match. Let me repeat that. If this is your aligned one, you are actually the perfect match on all those levels. And so if you believe this is your divine aligned one, and yet you don't feel like you're a perfect match, you have to prepare by going to source energy so that you can be shown how that is true here. If it's not true, you're going to have to deal with that awareness legitimately, and you may have to let go. These eclipses can eclipse out false partners and those who are not truly our match. That can happen as well. So masculines, you know, this is a very sincere time to send your feminine a lot of love, a lot of awareness of the connection. Masculines, you may want to give your feminine some kind of a message, some kind of a confirmation in the physical. If you're watching this, specifically that message is for you, not necessarily the masculines that won't have watched this, but if you're watching this, you might want to send your feminine some kind of a message or speak to them in a way that confirms your intention, your vision in some way. Drop a hint for the future. There's something here that can add to your feminine's confidence, and I'm not getting that it has to be purely aloof from your side. It does have to be primarily through their connection to source, but for those watching this, you are permitted to give your feminine an additional sign. Wow. What are the feminines clearing throat chakra thing? So for those who are watching this video, your throat chakra, masculines, is being cleared so that you can communicate without fear with your feminine. And for whatever reason, for you group in particular, your communication is going to be part of your soul mission together, is what I just got. So what a special message for you masculines in particular that are watching this for your specific person. That's beautiful. Okay, what are these feminines preparing for union with their actions? They're really looking deeply. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, both in the inverse. Lord of Wealth and Happiness here. So these feminines are in deep, deep, deep acceptance and envisioning of what they actually want. You know, there are lots of grandiose things that we could say we want from a material realm standpoint. Lavish living situations and abundance and financial blessing and time freedom and just spontaneity on some levels that looks a little bit dripping in gold, we'll say. These feminines are having a reality check in that there is more of a practical, present, now sort of way of receiving heaven and earth, heaven on earth. It doesn't have to look so over the top. These feminines are starting to really adore the little things. A little fleeting eye contact, a smile over the shoulder, those moments frozen in time where masculines, they've got your smile, those sneaky looks, those confident looks, those knowing looks, those snapshots in their mind of the soul connection, and it's superseding any of the indications that would be for show or surface or material. It's going far beyond. So the feminines are having like waves of memories of these times when they've caught your eye or you've connected on that soul level. It's like snap, snap, snap in the feminine's minds right now is what I'm getting. Where is this going? It's allowing the feminines to keep doing the inner work, because those moments of recognition between the two, those are giving fuel to this rite of passage, this inner transformation that the feminines are actively constructing, downloading, interpreting, aligning with. What is the advice for the feminines? Ace of Pentacles. So this way of manifesting, this way of catching wind or catching a second wind with the manifestation, where you've shifted from any of the, well, I'm getting that contrast of being told all the time to seeing it in action, seeing and recognizing the love in action instead of needing to have it communicated, witnessing it, knowing it, receiving the larger than life, deeper than words kind of things. But this is also what you thought relationships were versus this soul connection that needs to be the fundamental, the foundation here. This is a new beginning. This is where the seat of manifestation, where if you don't have that soul connection, you have nothing. It's just a material realm scenario. And so everything else fades. And this recognition, the confirmation, the internal knowing, I just saw 3311, of this soul confirmation. So that shows me that the angels are helping this right now. So keep your thoughts and your awarenesses pointed on the soul connection and trust that that is enough. It's kind of like being an optimist. We sometimes have those devil energies saying, oh, don't drop your guard. Don't be so happy, glass half full about that. You'll miss something. You've got to be more skeptical so you're not taken advantage of or you're not foolish. Shush up, devil. Like, no. It's same with this. It can be love is all you need and the rest is just details. Bring it back to that safety where this time you're not going to be duped. This time it feels different on your heart. In past karmic scenarios, it may not have felt this actual, you might have been more in limerence. Be real with yourself about that, feminines. What can we see for the biggest challenge for the feminines preparing for union? Lord of the Triumph of Light, the Chariot. That things have moved forward without the sexual consummation yet. There has been forward movement, but it may have been literally putting down sexual barriers. This is fascinating. This is the most phallic card in the deck, the Ace of Wands in the upright. And in the reverse like this and the red, I'm getting that it was a stop, that there was an opportunity, maybe a red flag, where your masculine may have advanced and it was under the guise of just sex. It wasn't just for sex. Your masculine loves you, but it was a test. I'm getting that it was a test, and that whatever has happened for those coming into union and preparing for union, there was a boundary set regarding the being in just for sex. So your masculine isn't there to use you for sex, but they are there to test you, to see if you know that this connection is sacred, or if you're still distracted by hormones or the chemistry, the bed chem. Oh my gosh, Sabrina Carpenter shout. Yeah, so this is like, no, this love is more valuable than this friendship layer. So the challenge is, though, feminines, don't second guess or tell yourself you screwed it up by moving forward without that full sacred, intimate peace yet. What is this doing in the feminines? This is where that unconditional love of self comes to the surface, and you show your masculine in no uncertain terms what you are worth, and that even they cannot pull you off your track because you love yourself more than you love being, having less than the extraordinary real thing. So if anything has fallen short, if it's not time to consummate and there was a boundary, that add that as an extra confirmation that you're very close to union. What can we see for advice for the feminines? The Magician. So here's your masculine rising to the challenge here. I'm just giggling because Magic the Gathering came up in the first thing. And this looks like a little bit of a thing that way, but there's something here about the magicians. The Magician and the High Priestess are a perfect counterpart couple, and these masculines are going to be manifesting this. Here's the wand, and here is the Ace of Wands where the boundary has been set. So now the masculine is coming back even more invested, even more like, I'll show you. I will match your "it's not sacred enough" card, and I will raise you. We're going to have sacred to last a lifetime kind of energy here. So excellent, masculines. What is the solution to this challenge? The Sun. Full-blown enlightenment, and the Hanged Man, moving things forward. So feminines, if you have recently laid a boundary sexually with the intimacy, with something there, then you are truly in this group that is going towards union energies right now. And this is what is moving you in that direction. Spirit of the mighty waters. My mind's in the gutter. But I'm going to go into what do the feminines need to know. The Artist. So Artist is a card in this deck that is beyond the world. Okay, right now, I want to shout out to Bonnie because I know you're going to be like laughing in the comments. I get a kick out of you, like, and what you catch in my readings. The Artist, though. Upright. This is channeling as a way of life. It is after the world, so this is an ascended way of relating. In the inverse, this is the preparation behind the scenes where you have to embody all of this feminines to be union ready. And because it's not in the upright, that work has not been completed yet. It's not completed until you come into union. And so just stay with the process. Don't rush it. Enjoy it. Remember, you're never going to be single again. Really be thorough with this. Lavish, languish, be in it. Love it. Love this time, feminines. It should be a sacred, rite of passage where you're really enjoying your sovereign autonomy, and you're anchoring that in so you don't lose it going into scenario or relationship. Yeah, so 9 of Pentacles. Suzuki! Shh! I know she needs water, but that was too loud. Water! What was I saying? Mighty waters. Right on cue. Suki. Yes. 9 of Pentacles. You're never going to be single again. You will be autonomous and sovereign. That means you will have your own karma. You will be able to have freedom to do whatever you want, but you're not going to want to do anything that contradicts your your relationship. You're connected. So masculines watching this, your feminine is so yours. I'm hearing the masculines saying, you're so mine. Yes, 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 yes. But it's for real, and it has to keep being embodied. This is a deep, deep embodiment reading. What can we see for... And this is also a reading that happens after I've had 2 coffees in a row, which I never do. All right, progressive awareness, multi-directional change. So when we know better, we do better. And when we actually have this stuff embodied, boom, it kicks off real fast. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now. Oh, and I saw someone in the comments the other day about the caduceus and how it has a couple of things. It can have many. I even think it actually has 7, but it doesn't limit whether we come into union faster or not. Some of those things we can do at once. Some of those things we do on our own without a partner. And some of those things in some journeys, depending on the karma, it's right by textbook. Anyways, many blessings. Bye for now.